Thank you, Petrus. Good afternoon, everyone. I've put my contact details on the screen. Please take it down in case you need to contact me telephonically or send me an email. Great. So, in order for you to become a student or a dentist or a medical doctor or a clinical associate, there's one very important step that you still have to take, and that is to be selected as a student. Applying to university can be an extremely stressful process. And believe me, I know how stressful it can be, because it is as stressful as it is for you to apply. It is just as stressful for us to go through the selection process, because we know that the group of students that do apply are the cream of the crop. If you apply to the Faculty of Health Sciences, and in particular to medicine, it's even more strenuous and more stressful, because there are only a limited number of places that are available. For 2015, we received close to 6,000 applications, of which only 300 first-year students can be accommodated. So as you can see, it's really it's a tough job that we have to make sure that we select the best students to study medicine, dentistry, or any of the disciplines or programs that is offered in our faculty. And as much as we would like to accommodate everyone, it is not possible. I think Petrus also mentioned earlier, we do advise students to apply at all the medical schools, although we would like to help everyone. Please do apply at all the medical schools to increase your chances of getting in for medicine. Now, the selection process is based on academic and non-academic merit. For academic merit, we use your final grade 11 results. When we do selection, we do not use grade 12 midterm marks or the prelim marks, only your final grade 11 marks. Then, what is also very important is the national benchmark test. It's compulsory. If you want to be considered for any of the health science programs, you must write the national benchmark test. Learners can register for the national benchmark test on the NBT website, and their website will be open and available for registration from the 1st of April. So from the 1st of April, you log on to their website and you register for a date, a time, and a venue that is convenient for you. If you want to be considered for a health science program at TUCS, you need to make sure that you write the NBT not later than the 11th of July. Very important. And also you have to register for NBT 3 weeks prior to writing it. So make sure that you log on as soon as possible, because the dates can get filled up quite soon. Okay, information on the NBT. I think the Juniortukkie office is also providing some classes to assist learners on how to write the test. You can contact the Juniortukkie office, or Petrus Lombard will be available to assist you if you have any questions on that. There are also information on the NBT website on the different tests that you'll be writing, the academic and quantitative literacy, as well as the mathematics test. There's also pointers on how the questions will be asked, and also what you will be tested on. And remember, you have to write both tests, the AQL as well as the mathematics. You write it in one sitting, and you can only write the test once if you want to be considered. If you do decide to write it a second time, we're not going to consider the second results of the test that you'll be writing. After you've written the NBT, you don't have to worry to send the results to us. We will contact the NBT center directly, and we match the marks from the NBT on our system on the learner's ID marks. And so will all the other universities do. So you write the test once, and the results will then be sent to all the universities where you have applied for medicine or any health science related course. The second criteria is the non-academic information that we look at, and that takes form in the value-added form, where we look at your leadership positions that you've been in, your sports achievement, your cultural activities, and community service. Now, community service, there's not a prescribed number of hours that we inform learners to work. We do, however, look at the community service that you have done in grade 11 and grade 12. So any community service that you've worked prior to grade 11 and 12, we're not going to take into account. Just make sure that grade 11 and 12 information is available when we send you the form. Now, the value-added form, just the last thing, community service can be worked in either a public or a private institution. It depends on what you as a learner, what your choice is. If you are doing any outreaches, that can also form part of community service. Now, the value-added form is not available beforehand. You have to apply to the university. After you've applied and you've received your student number, you must actually go on the university's website and register yourself as a user. After you've registered yourself as a user, you will then have access to your student portal. And you can also track your application status. Now, on the application status, if you go on your portal and it indicates that your status has been changed from application is received to application is considered, then the value-added form will then be linked on your portal, and you will then be able to complete the form online. You download the form, print it out, have it signed, and that form must then be uploaded on the student portal again, and you can also upload all your supporting documents with the value-added form. Your grade 11 average counts 60% towards our selection, and the value-added form counts the NBT counts 40% towards selection. The value-added form, there's a score is out of 40. For each section, the leadership, cultural, sport, and community service counts 10 marks each. So that mark will be kept on the separate. But to get your merit point score, your grade 11 average, and the score attained for the NBT will be combined to give you one merit score. When we do selection, we calculate your grade 11 average and the NBT average to give you your merit score. That score is then ranked according to what the learners received, from the highest to the lowest. And from that group of students, we will then make provisional offers, and a waiting list will also be compiled from the same list. If you are not selected, because we do not place everyone on the waiting list due to the limited numbers. So if you're not selected, you will not be reconsidered after the matric results are available. Only the learners who will be made a provisional offer or placed on the waiting list, their grade 12 marks will be reconsidered at the end of grade 12. For those of you who's not successful in the first phase, there's a phrase that says, if at first you don't succeed, try again. What you can do is to then register for a BSc Biological Science. The BSc Biological Science first year is a generic degree that will allow students who did not get into medicine or dentistry to do the exact same subjects in the first 6 months. And after the first 6 months, we'll have a selection where we will then select the top 30 students from that BSc group to continue with medicine in the second semester. So the fact that you're doing the exact same subjects will then allow you to continue, so you're not going to lose out on any time. We normally reserve about 30 places for those students, and there might be a bit more, because it will depend on whether there are students that fall out in the first semester or students who cancel their studies. When do you apply for the BSc? When you submit your application for medicine this year on the 1st of March, you must then apply for the BSc. If you put BSc on as your second choice, the faculty will consider you and it won't influence your application for medicine. What else? If you, a lot of students do not make it after the first 6 months. And that's where the problem comes in, because your best opportunity to get into medicine would be as a school learner, and then of course in the first semester. After that, your window of opportunity becomes much smaller, because when we do selection again after the end of June, we have another selection in August for the following year for students to get in. Then you start competing with a much bigger group. And the competition is intense. It's crazy. And you have to make sure that your marks are extremely high. Otherwise, you will not get in for medicine. Also remember that the selection criteria for universities are not the same. So where we require, or where the NBT counts 40% towards our selection, it might count less at another university. So make sure that you do extremely well this year in the NBT, and then also next year when you apply as a BSc student. And then I'd just like to wish you all well, and I hope that you will be successful when you apply for medicine.